Hey everyone, welcome to PHYST, P-S-Y-T, Pastor P-H-Y-S-T. That's it, PHYST, that's right. So the acronym stands for Pastor, have you seen this? And you send us in internet content and you say, hey Pastor, have you seen this? I'd like to get your take on this. And so we would happily comment on this stuff that you would send us, and just to see what maybe a pastor would say, a Christian would say, and hopefully in the dialogue of it we get a sense of the coherence of the Christian worldview. That's our hope. And that maybe some of these things that present challenges to the Christian faith could have answers that satisfy the heart and the mind. So if you've got something, send it to social@ac3.org, this address that's at the bottom of the screen right there, and we would be happy to comment on it. I don't see these ahead of time. The team just collects them and sends them my way. So you sent this in, and the team is now going to throw this my way. So let's see what you had for me to watch.
Satan would kill God if he could, but he can't. So he kills babies because he knows it wounds the heart of the Father and causes chaos on the earth. You see, abortion is actually the sacrament of Satan. Because abortion says, you must die so I can live. But Christ says, no, I must die so you can live. And chooses to enter human history in a uterus of all locations to redeem mankind from their sins. This is why Peter Kraft, the Catholic philosopher, is still alive. And he said, don't you know, church, abortion is the demonic parody of the Eucharist.
Wow.
That's why it uses the same holy words. This is my body, but with the opposite blasphemous meaning.
Yeah.
Do you think it's
my body, my choice?
That the central phrase of the entire abortion industrial complex and the culture of death today are the same words of our Savior in the First Communion. This is my body.
This is my body. Oh, wow. I think this is a powerful statement about the Christian view of abortion. And I think, some of you out there may be conflicted about this topic. And maybe you view someone who's getting emotional about this to be, I don't know, disingenuous. I'm moved by this. I honestly am. I'm moved by his tears. And I think that the statement he makes about the reversey world of abortion that turns the ending of human life into a moral good is the definition of something that the author of chaos would want to bring upon the earth. Now, this doesn't negate or obliterate the fact that pregnancies are sometimes incredibly, incredibly difficult and bring massive costs to people. And but as one of my Catholic friends said, in fact, the father here in our town said, wouldn't it be great if we could help people who are in medically dire situations and pregnancy presents them with great challenges without anyone getting killed? What a great way to say that, right? Maybe we could help people without having to kill anyone in the process. So as soon as we say it like that, of course, this brings up, I think, the fundamental question when it comes to abortion. And there is only one question, and that is the humanity of the fetus. And that's the only question. So you have other things like the circumstances of the conception of the fetus and all sorts of those questions which present real-world difficulties, massive real-world difficulties. But once you've established whether or not the fetus is a human being, you've sort of trumped everything else. And I think that is what you have scientifically, biologically, and spiritually on our hands when we have a fetus, is we have a human being. And so if we have a human being, then we have something that is sacred because we have something with a divine stamp on it. And that is the foundation of all our human rights. As soon as we can move the goalposts about what determines a human or not, we have arrogated to ourselves or that group the right to redefine morality. Because every abhorrent movement of history that we would look at and we would say, oh, that was just broken and horrible, usually began in the redefining of humanity and defining some groups out of the circle. And as soon as you define some group out of the circle of humanity, then you can do the horrible thing. Whether it's genocide or torture or eugenics or slavery or whatever else. If you can take someone and push them outside the circle in some way, shape, or form, and somehow define their humanity down, then what you have opened up the door to is to do the thing, the horrible thing. The thing that then arrogates to humans the right to once we've arrogated to ourselves the right to define what is human, we have given to ourselves the right to redefine morality. Because all our morality is fundamentally about the preciousness of a human being, that a human being is an end and not a means to an end. If a human being is an end, then they have worth, inherent worth, not utilitarian worth, but inherent worth. And of course, the only way to get around this, of course, is then to separate humanity from personhood. And that would seem to be the way that you could walk around the very clear-cut idea that a fetus is a human being. I mean, what else is it? It's not a dolphin. It's not a pancreas. It's not a part of a human like another organ in the body. It's not an appendix. It is a human being, which will just grow up in full development, either inside or outside the womb until natural death, just like you and just like me. And yeah, so these are the arguments, and we always talk past each other, depending on which camp you happen to be in. But just so you know, it is not controversy at all that Christians have stood against abortion from the very beginning, because abortions have been around forever. And so early, in fact, in the middle of the first century, the Didache, which is one of the earliest Christian writings we have, it's probably earlier than some of the writings in the New Testament itself. For example, it's probably older, closer to the time of Jesus than the book of Revelation. And in the Didache, abortion is strictly forbidden for Christian disciples. And for the obvious reason, right? That Christians are not about siding with the powerful against the weak. That in our day of talking about the oppressor class, and those that would abuse their power to, sort of subjugate others based on all sorts of different categories. It's fascinating that we never bring this up. Because, of course, if there was ever a group where there was the powerful against the less powerful, it is in utero life versus people who are walking around breathing oxygen in the free world. So yeah, there's all sorts of ways that we get around the devastatingly ghoulish darkness of abortion, because of the justifications that we marshal for why this human life or that human life needs to be sacrificed for somebody else. But as the author says here in the video, this is a reversal of the crucifix. In the crucifixion, Jesus is giving up his life for everybody else, rather than asking everybody else to give up their life for him. And that may be more than any other Christian argument that we marshal against abortion, maybe is the most powerful. Because abortion asks the weak to be sacrificed for the strong. And yeah, it moves this guy to tears, and I'm moved when I hear it. And by the way, Peter Kreeft is an excellent Christian philosopher who is great on this subject of abortion and on other things. So if you happen to see his name float around there, check him out. He's written extensively on great apologetics type stuff. All right, so way to go after the controversial stuff, my friend. But that is my cold take on the video. I'm quite moved by it. If you've got something you'd like to send in and see what Rick or Alex has to say, please send it to social@ac3.org, and we will see you next time on Pastor, Have You Seen This? Thanks for tuning in.